you are from non-commerce background, maybe from humanities or engineering background? Okay, fine. So, to the non-commerce background, I would just like to ask a question. Why are you choosing MBA? Anyone from the non-commerce background. Why MBA? Fourth, we cover how financial literacy and financial awareness will help you secure the jobs in the finance sector. And lastly, some roles and strategies that will help you secure the job in finance. Right? So, let's move on to the financial job market. What's there in the financial job market? What are the jobs that you can move into? So first we talk about investment banking. Investment is something you are putting your money into for a very long period of time. For example, the companies invest in their capital, maybe in their fixed assets, maybe in their shares, which will benefit them for the long term. And when we are investing in something for a long term, we need to make a really wise decision, right? We cannot just think overnight कि हाँ मेरे पास पैसा रखना है और let's purchase this. ऐसा होता है क्या? For a long term, we need to analyze so many things. अभी आप लोग यहाँ हम सेशन ले रहे हैं for what reason? Because you want to select that which field of MBA you want to choose, right? Why? Because that is something which deciding in advance. Anyone else? Yes. Deciding in advance for targeting some goals and objectives. Fine. So the crux is deciding something in advance to achieve, right? So if planning is deciding in advance, then what is financial planning? No, I won't ask from you now. I want new faces. Yes. Very nice. Financial, there is no back out option, right? Once that money is gone, that is gone. Now either you have a profit or you have loss. So it is very important to have the financial planning before putting any amount of money into anything. And for that, what company requires is financial analysis, financial planning, and people like you who will choose the finance sector to help them decide what is good for them, what areas if they are planning to put money into, are they good or not, are they feasible, are they profitable or not. So this is again one area where finance people are being demanded, that is financial planning and analysis. And analysis, why? Just planning and putting money into something does not end. You need to analyze whether what we plan is working accordingly or not. Are there any deviations that need to be looked upon? If there are any deviations, they need to be corrected and put into the track. Planning and analysis is again a very nice sector, very skillful sector for finance students. Next is risk management. Each business has some risk, right? And in today's world, if we talk about risk, the proportion, the percentage of risk has become more higher, right? What kind of risk a business can have? What kind of risk? Changes in tax policies. taste and preference of the customer. Okay.
Adapting the technology.
Technology changes. Okay. And
Social environment, this change in social environment will also affect.
social environment, political environment. People at back. Now I want answers from back. What are the risks involved in business? Competition. Okay, yes, competition. The risk related to products. Maintaining the brand. Okay. See, there are so many risks involved in any business. If we talk about risk, you think of the area and there's a risk. Right? Maybe in operations, maybe in finance, maybe while maintaining the product, for market risk, social risk, political risk. All these risks need to be managed. How can we manage? We can manage the risk once we know what the risks are. So for that, again, analysis are required for the risk, the areas, the environment that a business is working into, and that analysis will help you reduce or manage the risk. The risk cannot be completely, that risk cannot be completely over, cannot be mitigated completely, but it can be reduced to a greater extent if we know what the risks are. So for that reason, again, the companies require people who can analyze the risk, who can understand the business environment and help the companies to reduce the risk to the greater extent so that they can have more profit. Management who can sit with the people, who can understand what are their requirements, how do they want to manage their wealth. Why? Because mostly how they want to save their money for the future, for their retirements, and this is where the role of finance comes into the picture. So most of the bank mistakes are there in those operations that are being identified and reported to the management. Internal audit department, if I talk about, is hired by the company itself. They require a person with good financial analysis, good financial studies to understand the financial statements. What are the financial statements? Basically, the income statement, profit and loss account, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. Companies they require people from good financial analysis to understand their financial statements. First, audit is the another area where the auditor comes from outside the entity and audits the financial statements of the organization. Mostly these audits, the independent auditors are being appointed by the government departments, banks, and the big organizations. Why do they appoint external auditors when they already have the internal auditors? Anyone? Why external auditors? Exactly. If the internal auditor is auditing the financial statements, there are chances of the biasness. There are higher chances that internal auditor might be, the employees and the internal auditors have good relations, and due to which the internal auditor might not be able to report few things which are going wrong in the organization. But ultimately, if he is not reporting those things, the company is incurring the losses. That is why the need for external auditor arises. External auditor being a very independent person, don't know anyone in the organization, and he has no pressure whether to write anything or to not write anything. So that is again a very wide area which is also growing, which can be a part, right? In midnight you want food, open your mobile, order from Zomato and Swiggy. बहुत देर भूख लगी है, कुछ खाना है, ब्लिंकिट 10 मिनट में लाके दे देगा. So everything is available on internet now. Since the technology is growing, so there exists a very high demand for the people who can understand finances in the IT. So basically the fintech companies, the iTech companies, they require people who can understand the technology, and above that, now the myth versus fact. What are the common myths that students have in mind? Who all have this myth? Just below this much package, I won't join a job. See, there is sometimes a scenario, we don't know maybe, that high paying jobs need some higher skills, and we might be lacking those skills at that point of time. So why to sit? At least start from wherever you can. Once you start, you get to learn so many things what are going in the market and forever. Right? Next, if you don't crack the big four, you are out. What are your finance? No. You can actually grow more apart from